Okay, so dear student, in this class we discuss the last application of Gauss law. In last class we discussed the two application. One is due to infinitely long charged wire. Another one is the uh, uniformly infinite uniformly charged plane sheet. Okay. Now, third number application is field intensity due to a uniformly charged thin spherical cell. Okay, so in your NCERT book, there is a two cases are there. It's mentioned over there, but in this video or in this class, we discuss three cases. First, we discuss that two cases, these two cases, which is same to as a NCERT book. Okay, and at last we discuss the another one third case related to this application. Okay, so what are the two cases? This field intensity due to a uniformly charged thin spherical cell has two cases. Number one is a field outside the cell, and number two, field inside the cell. Outside the cell and inside the cell. So first we discuss field outside the cell. So this is the diagram for first case. This is the cell, a spherical cell having radius capital R. Okay. Now, at a distance smaller from the center of the spherical cell at point P, we calculate electric field intensity due to this charged spherical cell. That means this spherical cell has charged spherical cell has some charges. But remember, in this case, small r is greater than capital R. That means the point where we calculate the electric field, that distance from that point to center of the spherical cell, that is smaller, and the radius of the spherical cell is capital R. So as per Gauss law, first of all, we draw a closed Gaussian surface including that point P. So this dotted one is a Gaussian surface. So the and P point is lies on it. And we consider the surface charge density of spherical cell is sigma. So according to Gauss theorem, we know that phi equals to closed integration E dot ds, that is equals to q by epsilon naught. Now, if we consider only this portion of the spherical cell, so the area vector also this side and the electric field also this side. So both direction are same. That means the angle between E and area vector is 0 degree. So theta equals to 0 degree. So we get closed integration E ds, that is equals to q by epsilon naught. Now we complete this integration. E closed integration ds, that is equals to q by epsilon naught. Now the area of a sphere, we know this 4 pi r square. Okay, sphere means that dotted one, that Gaussian surface. That's why we use small r, not the capital R. So E into 4 pi r square, that is equals to q by epsilon naught. So E equals to, we get q by 4 pi r square into epsilon naught. So this is the expression of electric field intensity at point P outside the charged spherical cell. And it is clear that the electric field intensity at any point outside the spherical cell is such if the entire charge is concentrated at the center of the cell. Okay. Now the second case. Second case is field inside the cell. Field inside the cell. So this is a diagram. First one is the outside the cell. That's why we draw our Gaussian surface outside the spherical cell. So field inside the cell. So that's why we consider the point in P inside the spherical cell, and including this point P, we draw a Gaussian surface, closed Gaussian surface. Now here the radius of this Gaussian surface is less than the radius of the spherical cell, smaller, less than capital R. So now we know that if any Gaussian surface enclosed any charges, then we get the electric flux. Now you see that in this Gaussian surface, no charge is encloses. That means inside this Gaussian surface, charge Q equals to 0. If no charge is there, then how can we get the electric field? If electric field also 0, then how can we get the electric flux? So electric flux also 0. So the inside the spherical cell, electric field intensity always 0. You remember this one. The field inside the cell is always 0 because no charge is enclosed within this Gaussian surface. These two cases are also described in your NCERT book. Now the third one is field at the surface of the cell. That means not the outside, not neither the outside, not the inside, at the surface of the spherical cell. So we consider the point P here at the surface of the cell. Now here the distance capital R equals to, that means radius, and the distance from center to that point P is same, R equals to R. So from this equation, whatever we get from first one, E equals to Q by 4 pi R square into epsilon naught. In place of small r, because R equals to R, that's why we write capital R. E equals to Q by 4 pi R square into epsilon naught. Now we consider sigma is the surface charge density. So from definition of surface charge density, sigma equals to Q by A. We know this one. So Q equals to sigma into A. And A is the area of the spherical cell. Area of the spherical cell 4 pi R square, because here we consider point P here. That means the Gaussian surface also this one on the original spherical cell. So 4 pi R square. Now from here, in place of Q, we put the value of Q this one. So we get E equals to sigma by epsilon naught. So electric field at the surface of the cell, E equals to sigma by epsilon naught. Clear? So this is the last topic of this chapter, electric field and electric charge. Okay, we started with the Coulomb's law, the nature of the two charges, and ended with the Gauss law and its application. This is the last topic of the first chapter. Now after that we discuss some numericals related to this Gauss law, electric flux. Okay, then the first chapter completed. So next in next video we discuss about the electric potential. That is the next chapter, second chapter. Okay. Now we discuss one numerical. This is also, I think this is also the example of NCERT. So big numerical, but its solution so just this much. Okay, what is a numerical? An electric field is uniform and in the positive x direction for positive x, and uniform with the same magnitude but in the negative x direction for negative x. It is given that E equals to 200 I hat n Newton per coulomb for x greater than 0. E equals to minus 200 I hat. I hat means along the positive x, plus I hat means plus, because positive is here, that means plus x direction, minus is there, minus x direction for x less than 0. A right circular cylinder of length 20 centimeter and radius 5 centimeter has its center at the origin, okay, and its axis along the x-axis, so that one face is at x equals to plus 10 centimeter and the other is at x equals to minus 10 centimeter as shown in the figure. So we calculate what is the net outward force through each flat face. What is the flux through the side of the cylinder? What is the net outward flux through the cylinder? What is the net charge inside the cylinder? So this is a diagram. This is a cylindrical that surface. It has a 20 centimeter length is 20 centimeter. So if this is the origin, so up to this, that means negative x direction, this is positive x direction. Here to here, that is 10 centimeter. Here to here 10 centimeter. Total is 20 centimeter. And its radius is 5 centimeter. It is given. And the direction of electric field E equals to plus 200 I hat, that means this side, and minus 200 I hat, that means this side. Okay, only along the positive x direction and negative x direction. And the area vector, because we know that cylinder has three surfaces as we discussed in earlier, that first application and the second application of the Gauss law. This is a flat surface, these two are the flat surface, and middle one is a curved surface. Okay, so this is the cross sectional area. So area vector direction perpendicular to the surface, for this one this side, for this one this side, and for here electric field direction this side. So area vector and electric field both are parallel to each other. So theta equals to 0 degree for left side also, and right side also same. But in middle, if we calculate the electric field intensity, electric field only direction either this side or this side, not this side, not the up and down side. So, but in curved surface, if we consider this area vector is perpendicular to the surface. So in curved surface, area vector and the electric field vector perpendicular to each other. So theta equals to 90 degree. For flat surfaces, theta equals to 0 degree. In curved surface, theta equals to 90 degree. Now let's solve one by one. So first of all, we solve the electric flux through the each flat surface. So we also denoted by flat surface P and Q. As we know that theta equals to 0 degree, so phi equals to Ea cos 0 degree, that is E into A, and A means pi r square. So we, because we know that r equals to 5 centimeter, converted into meter, so we get pi into 0.05 whole square in meter square. Now we put the values. E equals to 200 pi into this one, so we get 1.6 Newton meter square per coulomb. This is for right side, and for left side we also get the same, but also one with one negative sign. That negative sign means direction is opposite to the first one. This is the right side, this is the left side, nothing else. Okay, so the magnitude of the flux through each flat surface is same, but in a opposite direction. That's why we use the negative sign. Now, what is the flux through the side of the cylinder? Side means this side. Because theta equals to 0 degree, 90 degree, cos 90 is 0. So, the flux through the side is 0. Second number also completed. Third number, what is the net outward flux? So, net outward flux, that means this from this surface, this cross sectional area, plus this one, plus this one. So, this one we have 0, this one we have 1.6 from both flat surface. So, 1.6 plus 1.6, 3.2 Newton meter square plus C per Newton meter square per coulomb. This is for R represent the right side cross sectional flat surface area, L is the left side, and S is the side of the cylinder. Now fourth one, net charge inside the cylinder. Net charge inside the cylinder, from the Gauss law, net charge, the total flux pi equals to Q by epsilon naught. That means this one, net electric flux. So Q equals to this into this, and we know that the value of epsilon naught 8.85 into 10 to the minus 12 into phi 3.14 into, this is the coulomb, because we find out the charge. So if we calculate this one, we get the value 27.8 into 10 to the minus 12 coulomb. Okay. Now the second number, one equation is given of the electric field E equals to 6 I hat plus 3 j hat plus 4 k hat unit. We calculate the electric flux through a surface of area 20 units in YZ plane. Okay, this is the hints, YZ plane. Surface area of 20 units in YZ plane. So let's discuss this one. This is a three axis, X, Y, and Z. Okay, surface area in YZ plane. So this is Y, this is Z. So this one is a YZ plane. So surface area, that means that this is the surface of the YZ plane. So we know that the surface vector, area vector, always perpendicular to the surface. So the surface vector directed along the positive X direction. This is the perpendicular direction of the YZ plane. So the direction of this area vector along the positive X direction. So we can write S is equal to, because there is a no Y and Z direction, so 20 I hat. We know that I, J and K is also the unit vector of along X axis, Y axis and Z axis. Because the area vector directed only along the positive X direction, that's why we denoted by I hat. Now phi equals to E dot S. Now put the values, and we know that we also studied the dot product and cross product in class 11. I dot I is equals to 1, but J dot I and K dot I equals to 0. So we get 6 I hat dot 20 I dot I hat that is equals to 1. So 6 into 20, 120 units. So the electric flux through the YZ plane is 120 units. Next, third number. This is also very important numerical. Okay, many times it will come in a board's exam. Just this equation is different. Sometimes Ex equals to alpha x only. Sometimes the alpha value is 500. This is 800. Sometimes 100, 500. Just values changes. But if you know the process, then you easily you can solve this one. So in this given figure, okay, this is a cube. It is given that Ex, Ey, Ez, that means the components of the electric field, Ex equal to alpha x to the power half and Ey, Ez equals to 0. That means only electric fields only along the x-axis, not in the y-axis and z-axis electric field is 0. Alpha value is given 800 Newton per coulomb meter to the power half. What we calculate the flux through the cube, okay, and the charge within the cube, and the value a is given 0.1 meter. Okay, now so we have this one equation. Now the hints is this one is a hints. Ex equals to this, Ey z equals to 0. What is the meaning of this one? As electric field has only the x component, therefore area vector and the electric field vector equals to, that means flux equals electric flux equals to 0 for the four faces of the cube which is perpendicular to the y-axis and z-axis. That means this face, this front face, upper face, that back face and the bottom face. 1, 2, 3, 4. These four faces are perpendicular to the y and z axis. So the flux through this front face, upper face, back face and the bottom face is 0 because 90 degrees there. So we get only the electric flux through this surface and this surface. This surface and this surface. So I will mention this one as a left face and the R means right face. Okay. So for the left side, this side, x equals to a. The distance this equals to x equals to a, that is given. So EL, because the left face is there, EL equals to alpha a to the power half because x equals to a. Now for the right face, this side, this is a and this side also a. So total distance is 2a. So x equals to a plus a 2a. So ER equals to alpha, in place of x we write 2a to the power half. So we get the electric field equation for left face and right face also. So we can find out the electric field, electric flux through the left face and the right face easily. So this is the electric flux through left face phi L, that is equals to EL dot S. We know that from Gauss law. Now S is the area of the cube. Area of the cube means both all sides are A, that is A square. So alpha a to the power half into A square and cos 180 degree. Why cos 180 degree? Because electric field is this side, but we calculate this side from here to here. Both are in a opposite direction. That means theta equals to 180 degree. So we get minus alpha a to the power 5 by 2. The flux to the right face means this side, the electric flux this side, okay, and the area vector also this side. Clear? So the angle between these two, the vector is 0 degree. So we get 2 to the power half alpha a to the power 5 by 2. So the net flux, this plus this, phi L plus phi R. So phi L plus phi R, now we put the values, we know the value of alpha, we know the value of A. Now we put and calculate it. So we get phi equals to 1.05 Newton meter square per coulomb. And the charge within the Q equals to, because phi equals to Q by epsilon naught, so Q equals to epsilon naught into phi. That means phi means this net flux. If we put the values here, we get 9.29 into 10 to the minus 12 coulomb. Understand? Thank you.